bad where you are. It's terrible everywhere else. We're getting some cold weather coming this way in the Panhandle. You got it in Central Florida. So get your firewood out and get your blankets and all your willy buddies and hunker down because we got some cold weather coming. Meanwhile, watching the final minute of the Florida women's basketball game, Gators will lose this one by about 25, 27 points. But a lot of great football this weekend and an appearance by the head football coach of the Florida Gators, Jon Sumrall, getting us a good press. And we'll talk about that. Plus, busy weekend. Shane Matthews probably wants to talk about golf. Yeah, it's back, golf. And all that coming your way tonight right here on the Buddy Martin Show. Tell your friends and neighbors we're live right now. Come join us.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye!
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
And welcome to the Buddy Martin Show. Right around the corner here in the orange and blue room is my man, Shane Matthews. I'm sure he has much to talk about regarding the playoff games. If you like cold weather and all that kind of stuff, what a performance by these four teams. It was really great football. If you know the basketball situation, Florida got beat, got beat bad, actually, although they tied the game up late and made a run and couldn't close it, and it was an upset win by Auburn. So go back to the drawing board there. And an appearance by the head football coach at Florida among the media. He seems like he's really, really zoned in. I want to get some takes from you. I've got Franz Beard coming on later to talk about it. He wrote about it this morning, and it's hard to tell. How do you evaluate it? Except to say a lot of enthusiasm, which we are going to get soon when spring practice starts. The spring game is announced today, April 11th. Shane Matthews, you ready for it? Good evening to you.
No, I'm not ready for it. Not yet.
Yeah. It's just winding down. I know you were probably pretty much glued to your TV yesterday. And although we don't talk too much pro football, I do want to get your take on that in just a minute and get your take on where they stand now. Now 2 teams to go and some great football play. Are you a fan of the weather, bad weather? You like that, Shane?
Well, I mean, that's what they play for in the National Football League. You play for home field advantage. I don't know if it helps the team that is at home in the snow. I mean, there's only so much you can do when it starts snowing that bad. A lot of people don't like that because it kind of takes away the scheming and the execution and that kind of stuff. But I don't know how you don't want to put the AFC and NFC championship game in some remote neutral site dome game, right?
Right.
That defeats the purpose.
Great setting there in Denver, and kudos to those guys getting all the way, coming out there firing, sent them, got them a touchdown. They were up. Probably should have taken the 3 points, and they didn't in a couple of occasions. And kudos for how they played. They lost the game, but they lost their quarterback early. And Stidham, he almost got it done, Shane, but he couldn't quite do it, could he?
I thought he played well.
Yeah, great. But in the end, he couldn't win the game.
Well, it was not just him. I mean, it was.
No, I understand.
Their kicker missed field goals.
Yep.
Sean Payton made a bad decision early in the game when the weather was good to kick a field goal.
Should he have kicked that? He should have kicked that field goal, even though it didn't.
You go up 10-0.
Yeah. and then you have an opportunity to win the game on the field goal. Anyway, it was a wonderful setting at Mile High, and boy, Seattle, oh my gosh, what a physical team they are. But your Rams, they fought hard. They were brilliant, and Matt Stafford just played brilliant.
Well, both those teams
Both
to me
of,
are.
yeah, both the quarterbacks did.
I thought whoever wins that game is going to win the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold
Wow,
played really well, but I'm just blown away at the way Matthew Stafford throws the football. I think he's as good as I've ever seen. He'd be right in the top 3 or 4 of all time throwing the football. He's, I don't know if he's going to play much longer. He's 37 years old. But boy, can he freaking sling it.
you get that window in there. You got maybe 2 or 3 years. You kind of want to take the advantage of that. Hopefully, I saw a real tender video of his wife he put up. Did you see it? Of him kissing his daughter's good night.
I think he's got four young girls.
Yeah, and he kissed them all good night. She had a video on his show that she put it up there after the game. That's a rough time, as you know, after a game when you lose like that. But it was high-level football, wasn't it?
It was 2 really good football teams, 2 good quarterbacks, good play calling, good scheming. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, the play call was exceptional. Well, the new head ball coach made an appearance with the media on the basketball game and came away impressed some people, including Franz, with what he said. I heard that, and also heard one of the probably shouldn't have been aired when he talked to the team and told the team what he expected out of them. A lot of MF thrown around there that probably some mamas didn't like too well. It wasn't made for video, but somebody released it. But it did give you a real look at who the guy was, and not messing around. And talked about winning, talked about evaluating talent, etc. Seems as though they're making the right moves on the personnel. As far as we can tell, they keep getting those big offensive linemen. They got another wide receiver today, I think. Was he from Indiana or is he from somebody today they got?
Indiana.
Where was he?
He's from Indiana.
Indiana. Well, he's not a starter. Anyway, so, people keep saying preferred walk-on. There aren't any more preferred walk-ons. Aren't they all scholarships? No walk-ons?
I think so, or maybe that happens next year. I don't know.
Hard to keep up, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even try.
Yeah, I know it's hard to do these shows. So, anyway, did you get any of the clips at all from Sumrall? Did you hear any of it at all? Have you
I
heard
did
any
see it.
feedback?
I mean, I know he talked about got to earn the logo, that kind of stuff. Somebody was on my program today. I think it was Franz telling me about it. I didn't see the other one you were referring to, though, buddy. But look, he's got to do it his way. He and his staff, and they're in their all-season program now, getting ready for spring ball.
Well, it wasn't France. I think it was Edgar who told him, well, Urban did that. Remember when Urban came in 2004? He took away the gator head and everything. You weren't here then, but he took away everything and made them earn everything back. He had the stripe on the helmet for all the freshmen. They had to have earned the right to take it off. They had their big brother take it off. He started the Champions Club, which was if you were in, you did the right things. You went to the workouts to excel. You got to eat steak at night, whatever you wanted, all kind of great dessert. And the other guys got beans and franks and and crap. And that's how they started out. Earning the logo was part of what they did. And they told Sumrall about it. He didn't know that. So that's not new around there, but it is new to these kids there. So it feels pretty good. Feels like stuff's going on. We just don't have anything to gauge it on. We have no ways to go the wins.
Only way you can gauge it on is 12 times next year.
Yeah. So, all right, basketball game. A little bit disappointed. Well, not a little, a lot. They got to lose down by 15 at half. I don't know what happened to them there. They couldn't shoot it, couldn't throw it in the ocean. They packed in. Obviously, they packed in the zone. Florida's 3 guards couldn't shoot them out of the zone. They missed foul shots, a lot of them, and the team got beat. And I know for a fact that Golden wanted this game really bad. He told some friends about how bad he wanted it, and he was saying, "We're going to win this game." Well, he didn't win the game, and they had some tremendous promotions. Did you see those promotions they put on? They had, among other things, they had orange and blue bands that glowed in the dark when they played the song, Don't Back Down. And that was all part of Melvin's sponsorship. Kudos to those guys have done some amazing things. I got to tell you, sure, they're sponsors and all that, but still, I'm telling you the things they've done. You know that ring they get? You saw the ring, right?
I have one.
You have one, and it looks beautiful. You know how many schools have called Freddie Weeby about that ring?
How many?
50.
Well, they got to win the national title.
That's the point. You got to win it first. But they're all thinking, if we ever do, boy, better go find somebody to write a check for the rings. You got to remember, Melvin gave away 10,000 of those suckers. And here's the other thing. As of Thursday night, with our new basketball hoopla show, which I'm announcing tonight, we're going to do basketball Thursday night the rest of the season. And one of our regulars will be Jeffrey Meldon, because he has so much information. He feeds these players. He dines them. They come to his house. He knows their mamas. He knows the family. His wife cooked for 104 of them last week. And he tells me great insights of stories about these guys I've never heard. So he's coming to do the show. And guess what? He's giving all you every Thursday night for a month. A ring. You have a chance to win a ring. We haven't decided yet how to do it. So that's going to be fun, just getting some good stuff. I like to hear stories about people, like who they are. And we don't get that from many people. And and Jeffrey's got a lot of that. So that'll be fun. So we're doing that. So basketball has been fun. Now you're getting a little angst because you're getting to February. And once you get to February, it's the shortest month, and you got March Madness. What are you seeing for this team, Shane?
Oh, I think it's a team that'll go deep in the tournament. I don't worry about one game. I mean, we just didn't play well. We got out-coached. It happens.
Did get out-coached.
Tip your hat to Auburn. Just rebound this week. You got 2 games during the week. Go 2-0, and you're right back on track. So, team is very, very talented. They're very well coached, and I think I expect them to make a deep run.
A lot of people didn't realize how good of friends Pearl is with Golden. We know all about them playing the Maccabea team and all that sort of stuff. They were best mans in each other's weddings. They're very, very close. And after the game, there was a quote I picked it up and put it in my column about how Stephen Pearl said of Golden. He said he's such a competitive guy. He's the best coach we got in the SEC. I'll call him later and see how he's doing. So that's an unusual relationship, right? So they only fell to 19 from 16. I thought they might drop out of the top 20 after losing, but apparently they didn't. Maybe they take on some of that. We'll see. People begin to realize they're good. Florida lost the women's basketball game 89-60. Tough loss for Kelly Ray. I know she's trying to keep her better players, and getting money up is going to be a tough grind for her to get that. Anyway, so Florida basketball, number 19, and we'll see what happens. We got a game at Columbia on Wednesday night. By the way, our show will be an hour early on Wednesday night if you're listening. So, all right, so give me your big picture takeaways from the football. I'll give you a couple of mine, all right? The Patriots kind of had that old school formula. Defense, run the ball, mobile quarterback, and he made just the right plays when they needed it. And the weather. Seahawks reached their first Super Bowl in more than a decade with their passing attack and timely special teams and enough defense against the Rams offense. So now the Super Bowl LX will feature the Patriots' methodical style against the sea. What a job he's done by Vrabel. Man, what a job he's done. Fantastic. Didn't they win 4 games the last 2 years? He brought it from nowhere. And Darnold's offense matchup with two franchises has been rebuilt conference champions. So anyway, it was the Patriots 10, Broncos 7. There's a low-scoring game. And the Seahawks 31, Rams 27. It was a wide-open game. Both of them were wide open, but you're right. He should have taken the field goal. He'd been a lot better off if he didn't do that. And I'm sure he wishes he had now. What'd you think of how Drake may play?
Oh, I thought he played real well for the conditions. I mean, he's 23 years old, second year in the league, and got a chance. It's either going to be him or Matthew Stafford as the MVP. He's really good.
Well, May made that call on his own,
Well, a lot of times when you have naked bootlegs like that,
yeah,
coaches tell you to call the run play. Everybody blocks the run, and the quarterback just keeps it.
Yeah.
So I believe that's probably what Josh McDaniels told him in his headset. Call 34 base or whatever the hell it is, 12 blasts, but keep it. Because if you call like fake 34, fake 12 blast, quarterback keeper, guys don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't give it away the initial run.
Yeah.
That's how it usually works.
Yeah, so they make it look like it's another play, and you don't want the lineman to give it up. So that was a great play. I will say that kind of bailed him out. So he went 10 for 21. Is all in 86 yards, but he had the 65 yards rushing. And so anybody else stand out? I thought Stidham played well. He threw for 133 yards. And that TD, that first TD was a beautiful thing, but they couldn't take advantage of it. And they had the opportunity, and they couldn't cash it in.
Well, neither team could. He had a backwards pass, which I thought it was a forward pass that got tipped and went backwards.
Yeah.
That's how New England got one of their touchdowns. When that weather got bad, it was just who cannot make the mistake to lose the game, pretty much.
How about the white uniforms?
Those are good-looking uniforms.
Especially in the snow. And the announcers couldn't tell where the ball was. They said, I'd like to tell you where the punt went out of bounds, but I can't see it. I've been to that stadium many, many, many times. Not that one, but one like it at Mile High. The snow comes down. It's brutal. That's as bad as I've ever seen it. It was really rough out there. And there you go. Hey, before I get Franz in here, we're going to talk some golf. Your boy Scotty Scheffler act like nothing's changed, man. 6-hole stretch of 4 birdies in 6 holes. And they blew past. How about this 18-year-old kid? What a great name. Blades Brown.
Blades Brown.
Only thing would be better if he's an ice skater. Blades Brown. Anyway, so big win. Scheffler's 20th win all the last 4 years. And he got a lifetime membership. So I think I read somewhere. Anyway, he's one of the rarest guys. He's got his game. He just doesn't lose it, does he, Shane?
No, I'm telling you, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the greatest of all time, but the way he plays, nothing bothers him.
It doesn't.
And he never gets in trouble, ever.
He's got a Shane Matthews heartbeat.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he just does, nothing bothers him. It was wonderful to see golf back. I'm so glad to see golf back again, aren't you?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a big Koepka guy, so I'm glad he's back on tour. He starts this week. So it should be a lot of fun.
Back. Yeah. You're right. That's a good thing. So, all right. So let's get Franz in for a second. I'm going to tell you about Meldon Law. We're going to talk a little bit about what we heard from Franz wrote about it this morning about what the head coach said about Florida Gators. Seems like there's a ripple of enthusiasm there, but there should be, but maybe a little more than usual. I'm going to tell you about Meldon Law. They do great stuff. Their promotions are without peer, and they also of course, the only official law firm associated with the University of Florida. They do great work there, and they will help you out in your needs. I have to sometimes remind Jeffrey that he needs to do. He's a law firm, and let him remember he has so much fun. He loves doing this. He'll have fun on the show we're going to start doing Thursday nights with Franz on the Gator Hoopla. And so Meldon Law is the place for you to go. Number one, he's a Gator. Number two, he does wonderful things. The promotions he does are without peer at the University of Florida. And they've expanded now. They have like over 50 attorneys, the 4 locations in North Central Florida and now in South Florida. And Carrie's in there too, helping run the business. So Jeffrey can go out and play and have fun. So Meldon Law, good people, they're good lawyers, give them a call.
He had a buddy.
Hey.
Saturday he had a
putting contest.
The putt, the length of the court on the hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
The hole is like this, and this girl missed it by that much.
Really?
Would have made $55,000.
$55,000. Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
And I, up until that last maybe 2 inches of it, I thought she was going to get it. Jeffrey was really pulling for her too. He was. I think he was as disappointed as anybody.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure they had insurance on it, but they do a wonderful. We don't talk about sponsors a lot. These guys, Freddie and Jeffrey, the Gold Dust twins, they do unbelievable things. What they do for promotions is incredible. And didn't they also take the game ball out of play and present it as well? I think they did that though. After
they pre-game, he got they gave him a ball that's signed by everybody and everything. I'm sure he's added to his collection, but Jeffrey is an amazing guy when it comes to promoting the Gators. He's
does a good job.
If it has something on the University of Florida on it, he wants a hand in promoting.
He's all over it. That's right. All right. So you heard what the coach said. You wrote about this morning. Your comments were pretty enthusiastic. You and Shane, you go over with what you heard, and let's try to temper it with a little bit of enthusiasm, not get over our skis and predict a national championship just yet. But say good evening to Shane before he goes later and gets his milk and cookies. And let's talk about this coach and what he's doing. Of course, talk is cheap, as we say. What's your instincts? I know you naturally are optimistic, and I am too. Shane, a little bit less. Let's just do a quick.
Oh, I'm very optimistic.
Are you?
Yeah.
When does that start?
No, I think he's done a phenomenal job.
Okay. Okay.
I love what they've done in the portal. I think I love the receiving room. I love the running back room. It's hard to really gauge the O-line. I'm going to trust Troutwine, his track record, and you bring dudes from Georgia Tech, they're going to be physical. They out physical Georgia the last 2 years for the most part on the line of scrimmage. And I'm big on our 2 quarterbacks. I'm just going with the ones that, Aaron Follow and Tramel Jones. I know we got Will Griffin and some other guys, and Griffin I think is going to be a tremendous player, and maybe he wins the job. But I think it's going to be a great battle between those 2 guys because of one thing. Them dudes can throw completions. And that's all that matters in playing quarterback is throw completions.
Accuracy is the thing, Franz. You're seeing some very accurate quarterbacks like for Shane here, getting the ball, throwing a catchable football, which is not as easy as you think. Some quarterbacks like to show off their arms and throw your 98-mile fastball, from 10 yards. But getting a catchable ball, and I have not seen Tramel Jones enough to know you maybe have. What's your take on the quarterbacks right now? How good do you think the incoming quarterback from Tech? If what you've heard, what you said, he's a runner also.
I've seen him, just on clips, and he's very fundamentally sound, and he plays with good instincts, buddy. He really does. You don't see him throw a lot of balls into coverage, and I like that because I've seen DJ reminded me too much of a former quarterback we had who had a tremendous arm, who you got a window that big and he thought he could throw it through it every time. And yeah, sometimes, when you get it through a window like that, you look like a real ace. But when you're off an inch or two, the ball gets picked off. So I think that they use good discretion when they make their throws. They throw accurately. I didn't see Trammell throwing a lot of balls into coverage on the games he played. So I think that he's so fun. Trammell's so fundamentally sound. I think Philo is more of a runner than Trammell, but I've watched him throw the ball. He set passing records in the state of Georgia.
Well, he has set the record, the high school record.
Yeah, he's got the arm, and the most important thing is the offensive coordinator believes in him. That goes a long way.
Yeah, he's right, Shane. That's the guy he wanted.
Yeah,
wanted him to
bring it blows my mind how you get on Twitter back when we hired Buster Faulkner and all these people that pop up there just think it's the greatest hire, great job, Jon Sumrall, which it was. He's the #1 offensive coordinator in America. I think he won an award. And then he wants to bring his quarterback and everybody's like, what? He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, trust me. Our quarterback room, we have Aaron Philo, the all-time leading passer in the state of Georgia. Last time I checked, there's pretty good football there. And I don't care what level of football it was. And we have the all-time leading passer in the history of the state of Florida that's coming in, Will Griffin. And Trammell is a natural thrower of the football. That's all that matters. Throw completions. I don't care how big a guy is, how much he weighs, what his hand size is, none of that nonsense. Throw completions, run the offense. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, and you told me for a long time that you said don't worry about quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks out there you can get. And we all got nervous, thought we had one that was generational, and if we lost it, we'd never be able to make up lost ground. You said, don't worry about it. There are plenty of quarterbacks. And it looks like they got people they can work with. I like the fact that they got the guy they wanted, right? They got the guy they wanted. And by the way, folks, if you see this, please go and like and share. We need you to get a little more active in there. I see What's on Angel, David Arnold. Good evening to you. Toby Permiter, Bruce Green, Tommy Seal. Please go in there and like it and share it. That's how we grow the show. So please do that. Yeah.
Buddy, here's the thing. One of the things that I liked what John said Saturday. He said experience can be overrated.
Yeah,
and he pointed out the fact that he had a guy named Darian Mensah who had never taken a college snap, who he's embroiled in a controversy now because he wants to leave Duke and break his contract to go down to Miami.
Yeah.
But he threw 31 touchdown passes at Tulane as a true freshman. He'd never taken a snap before. So I think it comes down to how well you coach them up and how ready they are mentally there. I think if you got the arm, Shane, am I right? The arm strength is probably the arm and the accuracy. That's fine. A lot of guys have that, but a lot of guys who have it don't have it between the ears. I think that's got to be the hardest jump of all. And obviously a guy, you don't have to necessarily have experience to have it between the ears.
Trammell and Aaron Philo have plenty of arm strength. Plenty. It blows my mind how these damn front office people, both now at college and in the NFL, it's all they care about. arm talent. That phrase is just, that term is just ridiculously used.
That and the stars. The stars are the other thing.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, like I said, I think we have a really good quarterback room. Really good.
I love Saban's rant about the 5 stars. Did you guys see that?
Mm-mm.
He went on a long rant about why he's always never worried about stars. Now, having said that, he recruited every good player anyway, and they were all usually 5 stars. But what he's saying, he didn't look at he said, who are the people rating these quarterbacks? He said, they know more than me about the quarterbacks. And he went on and said, I've never let the stars guide me on this thing. It's for fans. They get all bent out of shape. If there's a 5-star quarterback in the state of Florida doesn't come up to Gainesville, they freak out.
Let's do a little thing here about talking about quarterbacks. This is popping my head. Go back to 1990.
Okay.
To now. So 25, what about 35 years?
35 years, yeah.
Tell me, out of those, and we've had some good football players. We had some really good quarterbacks in those 35 years. How many of them were 5 stars? That were the good players.
I don't know. I remember Brock Berlin was pretty highly rated at one point when he left.
Well, he didn't play here very long.
I know. He went to Miami.
Was Danny?
Yeah. Danny was not.
Danny was Tebow was.
Tebow
He was a great player. But
Chris Lake was.
Chris Lake was, and he was a great player.
He was a high
passer. Rex Grossman, probably not.
He was a 4.
No, his dad brought him down here. He was basically
what I'm saying is he's probably the best pure passer we've had here, in my opinion.
Really?
But
Rex was a 4. I can tell you right now, whatchamacallit from ended up at Louisiana Tech. He's still bouncing around.
Jeff Driscoll.
Jeff Driscoll was a 5.
Right. But what I'm saying is we've had a lot of good players here. You've had Doug, you've had Jesse, you've had Kyle Trask.
Who is a 0-star.
Yeah. So these guys, I put them in that same category. They're going to play well. I really firmly believe it because they got Buster Faulkner calling plays. These guys can flat out throw the football the way it needs to be thrown to run an offense.
So, Shane, when you go and look at it, if they sent you out to assess a quarterback, other than accuracy, which is obvious, what are the first 2 or 3 things you look for?
Can he run the offense? Does he understand what we're trying to do? That's the most important.
Okay.
Meaning knowing where to go with the football and what does all other 10 guys on offense do on every play. He has to know that.
Okay.
The second is accuracy and anticipation. And the third is he mentally tough and is he physically tough?
How about footwork?
Well, that kind of goes in with, fundamentals. It blows my mind. Everybody in America works on fundamentals from Pee Wee, Pop Warner, middle school, high school, college, and pros. It's just something you do. It's just like getting up, brushing your teeth every morning.
Yeah.
It's something you do your whole life. And you should know at a young age if you have good fundamentals or not. When I used to train quarterbacks after like 5 workouts, I'm like, look, man, your kid, I don't want any more of your money. Your kid can't play quarterback. He needs to play another position.
Really?
He's got bad feet. I said, I don't care how far he throws it. I can't tell you how many kids I trained during the Tim Tebow years.
Yeah.
Every big kid wanted to be a quarterback, right?
Right.
Who was supposed to be playing linebacker or tight end wanted to be a damn quarterback.
Yeah.
After 2 or 3 times, I'm like, look, he ain't got good feet. He can't. He's got great feet to go play left tackle.
Yeah.
Or go play tight end, but he's got terrible feet to play quarterback.
Yeah. Quarterbacks have an instinctive thing about them too, don't they? They kind of know where to go and what to do with the ball. They just have an instinct, it seems to me.
Well, really good ones understand and can see the game happening before it happens.
Right. That's why I love quarterbacks that throw people open,
Well, here's the thing that Kurt Signetti said it, and it's just resonated with me. And every time I think about college football, think about what he said. He said he cares about 2 things: effort and productivity. He says, give me a guy that has the effort, who is productive. He said, that's all I care about. I don't care about stars. I don't care about anything else. I care about effort and productivity. And I think that I'm hoping that becomes more of a standard than how many stars you've got after your name. It's great to have a guy that everybody wants that you can tell is faster or bigger or stronger or whatever than everybody else. But, I've seen too many guys like that who've come in who couldn't get it done. Gosh, what was the guy's name that we had just before you got here from Orlando Evans, Shane? Gosh, he was like the number one high school offensive lineman in the country. I'll think of his name in a little bit. And he never played. He never played.
The other thing I'd like to say, excuse me if I'm interrupting you, friends, is I like my quarterbacks to have a little air about them that's different. Just a little something. I don't know if it's cockiness, if it's style, it's something. You can tell they're different. I don't know. The great ones I've seen, many of them had that. You know what I mean, Shane, by that? They carry themselves different.
Well, I think, I agree with you. I think everybody does it in their own way, right? I mean, Tim was a fiery type guy. The crowd loved it, to play to the crowd. The fans loved that. Danny was very quiet. I was quiet. Rex was quiet, but he had a little something to him. You got to be yourself, because the worst thing you can do is try to be somebody you're not around your teammates and they see you're fake. But if you go out and do your job, that's kind of how you kind of earn that, and the team will follow. So it'll be interesting to see how these kids that are going to battle out in the spring, how they carry themselves. I know most fans want the damn rah-rah. I don't know if rah-rah is the right way, but you know what I'm talking about?
Juice, yeah.
Yeah. I don't need that. I can just see, you can just kind of see if a guy knows what the hell he's doing, and then how the team kind of gravitates to him.
Yeah. I think even Kevin Brockway, he'll join us on the program now before Shane. I'm talking about quarterbacks and what you like. Shane, what do you think they say to us for quarterbacks? What do you think that Buster season and two guys, what would be your obviously accuracy, ability to run? What do you, and to be assessed them, what would you say? What does he see in them?
They want to score points and move the offense. That's the bottom line. Doesn't I can sit here and we can talk about it all night.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn how big a guy is, how hard he throws a football. Because look at our guys. They're not very big. I mean, I don't know if Tramel's 6 foot. He may
really.
If you look at Pavia is 5'9" at the combine.
Yeah, 5'9". They measure him today. 5'9" and
5'9", 198 pounds.
7/8, yeah.
Yeah. So none of that matters to this coaching staff. You can tell.
No.
And they feel like they got dudes that can run the offense. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Agree there, Kevin? You agree with that, Kevin?
I do. And, it's interesting because I was up late last night watching the Cowboys documentary. Trey Aikman, another example of a quiet guy that was a leader. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be the rah-rah guy all the time. It just depends on – it's just, I think, staying true to your personality. Like you said, Philo is 6'2", 220. He's a little bit of a bigger guy.
He doesn't look 220 to me, but yeah, nowadays these guys are bigger than they look. But
yeah. But like you said, the dual threat ability, and I thought it was interesting that Jon Sumrall, when he talked to us on Saturday, we didn't necessarily bring it up, but he talked about how there are plenty of experienced quarterbacks that he knows that aren't very good.
Yeah.
But that he believes in Philo because Buster Faulkner believes in him, and that sometimes that's something. You mentioned that Darian Mensah never took a snap of when he came in Tulane and so forth. So kind of almost defending himself for not going after the big time marquee quarterback that was out there. But they believe in Philo, and they seem to believe a little bit in Tramel too. So it's going to be an interesting, I think, competition here come March when we go out and see it play.
I love that. What was that quote again about experienced quarterbacks does not mean they're worth their damn? Is that what he said?
He just basically said, I know a lot of experienced quarterbacks out there that aren't very good.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
And I think another way of saying what Franz said was experience can be overrated, right, Franz?
Yes, he did.
Whatever, yeah. Yeah, so I just remember this one little anecdote, and I'll share this with you, and I'll let Shane go to get his milk and cookies so you get up in time for your show tomorrow. But there's something about a person you see, and you're in the room with them, and you feel it, and you see this guy is a leader. I remember a great story. Yeah, remember the great defensive back named Charlie Waters? Remember that name? Played with the Cowboys. He's from Louisiana. Charlie Waters is his name.
Played his college ball at Clemson.
Clemson, yeah. Okay. Well, he was in New Orleans and for something, and he told me this story one time. Of course, he played for the Broncos. He said he got on an airplane and he was going somewhere. The All-Star game. Remember, Franz? When they had an All-Star game with the college team played the pros, they were going to the All-Star game. And Charlie said he was sitting in the back of the plane. And he said, this guy gets on the plane in the front, takes his cowboy hat off, puts it in the overhead. And he said, look at that guy and said, that guy is somebody. He's a star. It was Terry Bradshaw. The minute he saw him, he knew he was special. It was something different. Sometimes you can sense that, I guess. Some people get. But anyway, I love that. Yeah, so we're getting down to the brass tacks. We have a little bit of consensus here that we kind of like the direction of things are going without knowing much more. Kevin, we agree. We like the things that we learned so much about Jon and about the fact that Sumrall's active in the portal and the players he's bringing in seem to be he's kept the right ones. There seems to be a little bit of a resolve there, Kevin, doesn't there?
Well, it's 2 months, but I thought it was pretty telling. I like the idea of, not wearing the logos until you've earned it. I like that, just the whole idea. I'm sure you guys discussed that earlier in the show.
Yeah.
About the fact that, he wants to bring a little accountability to the mix here, which I think is important. Something I'm writing about for tomorrow is about player development and how, maybe he has a model to follow in Todd Golden and what he's done with guys like Ruben Chinyelu, for example, and, Tommy Houck and a lot of players through his program. But I think that player development really begins with the offseason conditioning, with what Rusty Witt's going to do. And then you hope that carries over into March. But I think, the entitlement days are probably over there. I mean, he wants workers. He wants guys that are going to be physically and mentally tough. And you're coming off a 4-8 season. I mean, it kind of reminded me of back in 2008 when Billy Donovan locked the players out of the facility during the NIT season. It's like you're 4-8. You know what I mean? Hey, you've got to earn things around here.
Of course, as someone said, Urban did that when it was 2004.
Yeah, Urban did do that, and he made it so that every incoming freshman or newbie had to earn
their stripe.
Had earned their stripe. Yeah,
that was taken off of him by his mentor, whoever it was. Started the Champions Club. Shane and I talked about before you got on. It was pretty harsh. I mean, the logo thing was. In fact, Sumrall said, I didn't know that. He did. All right, Shane, who's on the program tomorrow?
Some guy named Buddy.
Yeah, man. You got anybody else? Is that it?
Yeah, Graham Hall.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think Graham's on him. I can't keep up. Yeah, I think it's Graham.
Well, I'll see you in the morning. Thank you very much. Look forward to it, Shane. Shane Matthews.
All right, fellas. Matthews. Have a good night.
Thank you, man.
Take care, Shane.
Too. All right, Shane Matthews. He's got a long night for tomorrow. Yeah, so I got you guys on for a little hoopla today, too, as a matter of fact. I'm kind of looking forward to my Thursday night show now with Jeffrey. I think he's going to be great. We're going to, because he tells such great stories. He knows those players. He has them in his house. Patricia cooked for 100 of those players last week, and he knows them all. He told me the story about Klavzar, his background, his mother, and his parents. And I love this Tommy Hoff story. I mean, Tommy Hoff might be one of my all-time favorite Gator athletes. I love that guy. What's amazing about him was we saw the Keyshawn show on Saturday, but Hall got 24 points, 20 the first half. Tommy Hoff got 27 and brought him back. He's a great player. It's fun to watch. But my goodness, I think they have stamped the formula for beating the Gators. Pack the middle, doubled all the bigs, and make them shoot their way out of it, and they can't. What's the deal? Franz, let me go to you first, and Kevin, tell me what you saw. What do you think can be fixed? Is it something that will linger, or do you think they can get it fixed?
Well, I look at it like this. They were 7 for 27 from the 3-point line. They hit 2 more, which they're certainly capable of doing. They'd hit 9 in the previous 2 ball games and 3 free throws. Oh, it's a tie game. I'm not as concerned about the shooting as you are, buddy, because it's been bad all year. And what I was concerned about more than the shooting ever, even though they missed free throws, they missed shots, etc. What bothered me was they got outscored in the paint by Auburn. Auburn outscored them by 10 in the paint, and you cannot have that happen when you've got that front line. It just can't happen. And they got taken to the cleaners in the paint. That concerned me far more than missing shots, because they've been missing shots all year. But they've only had a couple ball games when they really lost the battle in the paint badly, and this was one of them.
But Kevin, it's like they said, okay, we're going to go into our zone, and let's see if you can beat us. Go ahead, shoot the basketball. You can't do it. And they couldn't.
Out rebound in the first half too, because you should be able to rebound out
never.
of the They didn't rebound well. I mean, Auburn was hitting everything in sight, but some of that was on the defense, on the perimeter defense. I mean, Tommy Houck took accountability on that in terms of how he defended Hall in the first half. It was a flat first half, and they tried to play uphill in the second half, couldn't do it. A little concerned about Alex Condon. I think he's pressing, obviously.
Can't shoot that 3.
People talk about shooting the 3, but you want to know what, buddy? What's more concerning is the turnovers. I mean, 4 turnovers. He's had a few 6 turnover games this season. I mean, look, he's not going to be the second coming of Stephen Curry. And I would say he's entitled to take a 3 or 2 based on him coming back, as long as he doesn't take 5 or 6. But to me, the bigger concern is take care of the ball. We know he's a much better passer than that. I think that's, another concern too. And that's something that he's going to have to, kind of figure out. And look, teams are guarding him differently. And I think he's, worried a little bit about the NBA scouts and the NBA game. Chandler Parsons went through a very similar thing in his senior year back in 2011, and he figured it out and went on to a long NBA career. So, maybe there is time for Alex to kind of figure that out.
He needs to. His draft stock is dying. I talked to a couple NBA people that I know who say that the way he's playing right now, say he's making good passes and things like that, but he is turning the ball over, and he's not showing any capacity for shooting the ball anywhere from more than 5 feet out. And they say, they don't expect him to hit a lot of threes, but they'd like to see him shoot an 8 to 10, 12-foot shot. And we don't see that from him. And what they were telling me was, hey, he could compensate for not shooting the 3 if he'd hit some of those little inside shots in the paint that are 8 and 10 feet from the basket. And he's not doing that.
A little surprised the Chimney guy got shut out there, and they boxed him out. What'd they do, Kevin?
Yeah, no, just a very good matchup zone. Stephen Pearl. It's amazing what I think all the years that Bruce brought his Auburn teams here, they played so much harder under Stephen Pearl than they ever did under Bruce. And I was just trying to figure that out. It was amazing. Because you hear mixed things about Stephen. It's his first year, but he's done a nice job bringing that program back a little bit, and deserves a little credit as well for that game plan, because it was a really good, a really hard matchup zone that Florida really had a hard time, I think, figuring out throughout the course of the game.
My friend Freddie Weeby told me, I'm sure Bruce Pearl made that game plan up.
I give a lot of credit to Steven. Steven's a very, very bright guy. And when they named him the coach, I was neither surprised that they named him the coach, and I predicted that he was going to have success. Steven's a really, really cerebral guy. And I think that a lot of that, of course, he's been an assistant all these years, and Bruce sucks all the oxygen out of a room when he comes in. He's just,
he does.
He has that kind of a personality. And Steven's more of a laid back kind of guy, at least on the exterior.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever seem to get too high, too low, whatever like that. But he really knows the game well. And that part of that has to do with the way that Bruce brought him along. Bruce didn't just hand him an assistant's job. He made him work his way up through the ranks, and he's learned everything from being director of basketball ops to being the last assistant there, to being the guy who's almost the video coordinator. He had to learn the whole game, and I think that Steven's going to be really, really good. I did like the fact, though, that he gave his props to Todd. He said Todd's the best coach in our league, and I think that's, I thought that Steven. That I don't think that Steven was just trying to fluff up Todd. I think he was telling what he really believes.
One more point on the Auburn game on the 3-point shooting, because Franz, we had discussed this, and you had discussed this. Florida was 7 for 27, but Auburn only made 5 3-pointers in the whole game. And would you believe if I told you, to steal a line from Get Smart, that Florida has made more threes than their opponents the entire season, which kind of negates the whole 3-point to shooting thing. What hurt Florida in that game also, a lot of loud turnovers in that game, even though it was about a 17-16 turnover margin, points off turnovers margin, it could have been a lot better if Florida took care of the ball better. Xavier Lee had a couple of really bad loud turnovers.
Three bad ones.
That led to some easy runouts as well.
Yeah,
so you can, the margin for error is slimmer without the firepower you had last year, but you can win games without good shooting in a lot of other ways, and Florida didn't do that against Auburn.
Guys, let me take this last 60, 70s, whatever, the last 6-7 minutes. I want to touch on something that's not related to what we're talking about. But you're both old enough, for you especially, Franz, to know about Bear Bryant's. And of course, a lot of people think, oh, here we go, Bear Bryant. Well, it was this is the anniversary of Bryant's death. He died on January 26, 1983, 28 days after coaching his last game. I was talking to Feinbaum about it today. He knew him really quite well, and he has quite a story to tell about that. But we talked about it being like the day the music died. It's the game. It isn't directly related to that, but now things are changing, not for the better in college football. The Bear Bryant era is gone and over. A lot of people are glad, but this guy was such a giant. It wasn't just in Alabama, like the article I read said that they mourned from Baton Rouge to Columbus and barbershops across Texas. Every room where the smell of weathergrass and liniment lingered, coaches and fans knew something elemental had ended. The end of a godlike head coach, untouchable, unchallenged, paternal, was coming to a close. I don't know. I know you remember it, Franz. What would you tell your great-great-grandchildren about Bear Bryant and what a force he was?
I would tell them that the guy reinvented himself 5 different times. And each time he reinvented himself, his teams got better. Hard to imagine, but each time they did. He went from wide open offense with Kentucky to single platoon offense, thanks to Davy Nelson and Coach Nealon got that rule reinstated. They went back to single platoon. He won with that. He won then with a pro style passing attack, and he runs with the wishbone. I mean, he was the most adaptable coach I've ever seen, and I give him tremendous credit for that.
Talk about an aura. He had one. Kevin, did you ever have the opportunity to be around him at all?
No, I did
No.
not. But I remember certainly his successor, because I was growing up in New York, was obviously Ray Perkins. That was the big news when he left.
I know.
And went back and so forth, and had a lot of big shoes to fill. And as a matter of fact, I remember doing a story when Mike White was hired about following legends, and I was able to get Ray Perkins on the phone before he passed to talk a little bit about that, and he gave some really great insight. But hey, you said never a paternal coach come along. Well, 30 years later we had Nick Saban, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably the closest thing to Bear that we've
Yeah.
had probably since.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting in the NIL era of the days of the icon coach. I mean, will Signetti be the next guy? Or, I mean, he is 62, but, is there another coach out there that's going to carry that aura and create a dynasty the way guys like Bear Bryant and Nick Saban did?
Yeah. I put them in separate categories, both great, and I understand why they had the national championship to prove it. Saban's great. But I want to tell two stories real quick if I might. One of them is Ray Perkins. I was working in New York at the time, and Ray was a friend of mine. We were pretty good friends. And on a weekend, France, you heard his story, on a holiday weekend, 4th of July, he invited me to come to Franklin Lakes, just my wife and I, and to cook out steaks. And there was just 4 of us. We played tennis. Then we went in and we had a beer, and we went out on the porch and barbecue. And it's right when we were getting, Bryant was just winding down his last couple of years. And I turned to Ray and I said, what would you do when they call you from Alabama and say, come coach, replace Coach Bryant? Because there's going to be 4 guys that are going to call and name the guys. I said, you're one of them. What are you going to say? He said, I'm going to say yes. You're going to take this job? You would take the job, but you're the head coach of the New York Giants? Yes. And he did, as you know, take the job. It was a shock. The other thing about Bryant, probably my favorite stories, and you guys can jump in here with one. I'll try not to take all the time up. But my friend Al Van Hoos told the story about this. But back in the days when Bear Bryant had small guys that played the runts, remember, little guys? And that
Charlie Pell.
Yeah, and there was a guy named Billy Tees who played at Georgia Tech, a little guy, and he was an official. And he came to Bryant's game to call it. And it was his job to go to the coach's office and ask him if there are any special formations to worry about. So Billy Tees went in the room. He described it, how organized it was. He went to the back, and he says Bryant was sitting there with his feet up on the desk and a houndstooth hat over his eyes. He says, "Excuse me, Coach, I'm Billy Tees. I'll be your," whatever he was, head linesman or today. He says, "Okay." He said, "Anything I should know about your formations?" "No, not really." He said, "Nothing at all?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Coach, I have a great admiration for you." I felt like I had to say something. He said, "Oh, shucks, thanks very much." He said, "No, I'm just amazed how well you do coaching young, small players to become really great players." He says, "I appreciate that." He said, "I think you could take a 5'5" guy and guard Wilt Chamberlain." And Brian said, "Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate it." Billy Tees walks out, stopped in the room to say hello to a coach, and feels someone tapping him on the shoulder, and turns around, and it's Bear Bryant. And he says, "But that ain't to say the big sumbitch can't be guarded, though." All right, guys, good job. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin. Real fast, anything you're writing we need to worry about? See, real quick.
Yeah, no, just like I said, that column before, comparing, Sumrall and Golden and player development, and how that can, how it can rub off on him, perhaps.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Franz. Thanks. Have a good night, fellas. Take care. We'll wrap up the show tonight and tell you about our sponsors at Titan MR and Imaging. They do a terrific job. You need to know about them. 3 locations to serve you, about to get 4. 2 in Gainesville with Park Avenue and Millennium Center, 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta. Titan MRI and Imaging offers some of the great customer service. Same stuff you've always had. They accept insurance, or you can go through their convenient self-pay options. They offer memorized CAT scans, x-rays, ultrasounds, easy scheduling with lots of options, including evenings if you need them. larger MRI machines for your patient comfort. No ERs and no hospitals. So you need to check them out if you need that kind of stuff. They really do take care of the customer, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? The customer. So we'll thanks to them, Titan MRI Imaging. Thanks to our sponsors, Mello Law. Thanks to our guests tonight, and thank you for listening, and thank you for watching on the Buddy Martin Show. Have a great night, folks.